Hey, welcome to Mower Mike's Garage. Today we're in the mower junkyard, or otherwise known as my backyard. It is a beautiful, beautiful spot back here. See, we got some old John Deeres. I'm looking for my next project. Whoa, this is an old 85 Honda Big Red 250 ES frame. This is one of my very first projects back in the day. What else have we got back here? We got an old Toro, an old John Deere. Those look like a lot of work. I'm gonna save those for the future. Then we got the classic freaking snapper Forrest Gump mower. This is gonna be a fun one, but I don't think I'm quite ready. Wow, that's more than I want to take on today. But whoa, what do we got here? Oh my gosh, this here is a Craftsman push mower, 22-inch, 6.5 Briggs and Stratton motor. I think this is gonna be the perfect candidate. Now this sucker, as you can see, it's been sitting in my backyard for about 3 years. Somebody dropped it off in my backyard. It had been sitting in their yard for about 5 years. Because that's what happens when people say, oh, you're Mower Mike. I got some old mower junk I want to throw in your yard. And of course, I think that's just fantastic. So, what I want to do today, this is one of the most common mowers ever made. And it's probably got some of the most common problems for the most common mower. And we're going to go ahead and try to fix her without buying a single thing. And I think it's going to be pretty easy. Now, when you have a mower like this, been sitting in the yard for a long time, before you drag it out, there's one simple test to determine whether we want to mess with it or not. And that is to pull the rope. As you see, if you pull it and it pulls, that means that engine is free, that piston is turning. That means it most likely is fixable. If you pull it and you can't pull it, that means that engine is froze up. Just go ahead and throw it in the scrapyard. They ain't worth messing with. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag this sucker into the garage, and let's see if we can get her purring again like she did back in the 90s. Stay with me. All right, she is on the operating table. So let's get ready to dive in. Now, the first thing I like to do, especially with a push mower, since they're operated by a manual start, I like to go ahead and pull the spark plug wire off. That way, just in case something happens, that we don't get a spark flying down here, and then it accidentally starts and cuts somebody's hand off. Don't want that. Now, for these mowers that the engine turns free, most of the time it is a fuel issue. So to answer that issue, we need to get to the carburetor, which is super easy on these guys. All it is an 8mm bolt, and I've got this fancy DeWalt impact wrench, right? I freaking love. So we'll take this off. This gets to your air filter cover. As you can see, she's a tad bit dirty, but that is not what we're after right now. The air filter covers are always interesting. See what you get. Now underneath here, you're going to see there's 3 more of these 8mm. So go ahead and hit that. We just lost that 8mm. Hit that dude. And I love this new DeWalt tools. Brushless, this thing is a bad sucker. All right, hopefully you didn't lose your bolts like I just lost them. And that just slides off here like so. That whole contraption. And there is a little hose on the back. Just go ahead and unhook that. I can see we got some sort of weird growth. That's a fungi, I believe. All right, so underneath here you'll see we have got the carburetor. Now, I want to do something where we don't actually have to remove the entire carburetor. And underneath here, there is a bolt. And all this is a 0.5mm bolt, so we're going to undo that. But before we do that, I like to go ahead and drain the fuel out of these guys, because this fuel's been sitting in here, and you just don't want that bad fuel in here. So, right here, get something to drain it. I don't know what you got, but I actually think this one may have fuel evaporated. So just unhook that with a pair of pliers. Come on for TV, baby. Don't mess with me. All right, dang it. All right, there we go. Hope you're still with me. Don't get too dizzy. Well, that's why it's empty. It's the whole freaking... My whole gas line's been unhooked for years out of this thing, so I'm sure it drained into my yard at some point. So we're clear, but you just want to go ahead and drain this out before we start messing with any of this stuff. All right, so we know we've got no fuel in this feller. Now, next we want to take the carburetor bowl off, which underneath here is just a 1/2-inch bolt. And go ahead and take it off. Now, a lot of times, if you have fuel in here, this is going to get nasty, because that nasty varnished fuel is going to drip down on you. But we've got to get to the main source here, baby. This little tiny carburetor, it is 90% of y'all's issues. That fuel sits in here, it gets nasty. There we go. All right, we've got that bolt out. Yep, just like the other one. So what we're gonna do, as you can see, oh, there it is. I can see this bolt here. Look at that. The bolt actually has the jet in it. So what happens here, a lot of times that jet gets clogged up. So we're gonna go ahead and clear that jet out and see if this sucker will start up. So stay with me. All right, I've got a great shot of that jet. Now the way it works is that this is what bolts the bottom of the carburetor onto the motor, and it sucks in fuel through that little hole, and then it gets sucked up through that big hole. And this is what sits in fuel while it sits. And it ends up, what, 90% of the time, this is what actually gums up. Come on, focus for me, baby. So all you have to do is clean up these 3 holes, and a lot of times you're good. Now, how do I clean it out? It's always good just to hit it with some carb cleaner, like so. I'll just go ahead and hit the holes, hit the side ones, and you'll see pretty quick. I just hit my camera. Hopefully iPhones are carb safe. And then at times you can also blow it down that main hole like so. Just make sure to wear eye protection. Look at that, see? It should come out those 2 holes just like that. So we just blew all the crap out of there. And then you can blow it through the other hole like so. Let's see if we can get out the main hole, baby. My shaky old hands? Oh yeah. All right, so a lot of times it's just loose like that. Now sometimes it's a little harder to clean. And what you can do, you can get a, what I've got here is a carb cleaner, and you can just shove it in those holes like so and get it in there. Look at that, all the way through. That way you know she's clean. Now let's say you don't have a carb cleaner. I actually found that a Thumbtack works fantastic. So for example, I got this green Thumbtack here, and it slides right in there, and it's actually the same hole. So you can just go ahead, squeeze her in there. Let's see, like so, like so. And that way you can get out the hard stuff. And you know it's good, excuse my amateur cameratography, filmtography, I don't know, cinematography is what we call it, right? All right, so you know it's clean when you can see all the way through it, and it's a round hole. There you go. See, as you can see the light through the other side of it. When it actually focuses, that means you've got actually a clean deal. So after you've done that, go ahead and all you do is you make sure you got your gasket back on there, and you can go ahead and clean up the bowl, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just strapping her back on. And it really doesn't matter which way you strap it on. A lot of times the bowl won't even come off. You can just take off that bolt, clean that bolt, strap it back together, and you could be ready to rock. Now this lawnmower has sat for over 5 years, and I have no idea what was wrong with it originally. So I'd really be cool if this worked out, because then I can make a cool video on how I fix stuff. But as you know, it is a crapshoot, because everything I work on truly is broke as a joke. All right, so all I'm gonna do is hook that thing back up there and make it tight, but not crazy tight. When you tighten it, remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and hook my fuel line back up. And gang, that's it. I'm gonna leave the air filter off just in case. And you know, at this point, you can check the spark plug, but you know, we're just doing this real quick thing. The one thing you do need to check is the oil level. Make sure it has plenty of oil in it before you start trying to crank it. So I'm gonna go ahead and check the oil level, and we're gonna crank this thing and see if she'll start up. And I've got my fingers crossed. Stay with me. All right, moment of truth. We're gonna see if this works. I've tried to fix this mower with a 1/2-inch wrench and a Thumbtack. If it works, it'll be every redneck's dream. As you see, I have not put the air filter back on. I did top it off with oil, added some gas in it, and this is the first time this thing's been pulled probably in about 10 years. Let's see if she starts. No go. Yeah, that didn't work. All right, kill it. Well, as you can see, sometimes the easy fix isn't always the easy fix. Now, I think that will fix a lot of your problems, what we did today. But you can see this one here, I actually checked it for compression. She's got low compression. But give that a shot. It didn't fix my lawnmower, but I bet it'll fix yours. Mower Mike out.